Hello YouTube, my name's Andrew, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the Normal and Rare Festival. This is an upcoming event in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel that is going to be Normal and Rares only, but there's also a specific ban list that's being implemented by Konami, and it seems to be influenced by the creator tournaments that have taken place in this format. So it's very interesting, and the attempts to balance the format should be successful. It looks like all of the problem archetypes are removed, and it's going to be a very creative deck building format. To facilitate this video is going to provide a list of the best staples in the normal and rare format that you can use when you're picking an archetype and trying to build a deck from scratch. I'll be really interested to see what everyone comes up with, so let me know in the comment section what you think is going to be the best deck. Also, I really appreciate a subscription to the channel if you like this kind of content. And finally, I wanted to bring up that we are running a normal and rare tournament on this channel. You can join in the Discord if you're interested in participating. It's a free tournament, and it's going to be very cool. All of the coverage is going to take place on my Twitch channel, so all the links for that are in the description. I hope you like this video, and let's jump right in. Thanks for watching. Alright, so at the time of recording, we haven't actually gotten the official ban list for this event. It's coming out in 3 days, but I mean, if something gets banned off this list, just go ahead and exclude that. I'm of course going to make another video as soon as we get that official list with the best decks for the format, in my opinion. So going through, we do have some hand traps available. Most of them are battle traps, which aren't generally very good, but in this format they might see some play. Sphere Karibo in particular can be used in ritual decks, and I'm going to explain one in a minute, but I did notice the entire Psi Reflector engine, the Assault Mode Activate engine, is available, which allows you to synchro summon any monster level 6 to 9 with just drawing the Psi Reflector. You can go ahead and add Assault Beast. Assault Beast adds the Assault Mode Activate, and that whole engine allows you to synchro summon quite easily. I didn't notice any outstanding synchro monsters available, but maybe someone more creative than I can have a crack at it. The best hand trap in the format is Herald of Orange Light. If you have a deck that can facilitate this card just does a negate and destroy. It's one of the best hand traps in the game. Only one deck is available in this format that I've found that can facilitate it, and that is Fluffles, a deck that I've actually been playing quite a bit. It's pretty fun, but it doesn't have a lot of fusion monsters, only one being Sheep, putting it a little behind the 8-ball, but it does have a ton of draw power and a generic hand trap. If you did want generic, non-targeting, non-destruction removal, Neospatian Grand Mole can do that for you at the cost of your normal summon. There are a few very problematic, non-targetable, indestructible monsters in this format that might require some attention, but I don't think it's really enough to warrant playing this card. I just wanted to make you aware of it. Spirit Tamer Winda is pretty funny. She is just a 1 card. You just play 3 of this as your normal summon, and whenever she dies, it special summons a Ritual Beast monster from deck or extra deck. So you can special another copy of her, or you can summon this giant purple dolphin with 2800 defense. Yeah, and this thing can't be destroyed by card effects, so you can just summon this out of your deck whenever she's destroyed, and it's a very difficult to remove engine if you're playing like a slower, more controlled deck. One of the best normal summons in this archetype, in this format, is Condemned Witch. When she's normal summoned, she adds any forbidden quick play spell. And in this format, one of the best staple cards is Forbidden Chalice. So she's going to see a lot of play, in my opinion. Even during your opponent's main phase, she can be tributed to special summon a fairy from your deck, and there are a few very good targets. The Fluffles have a lot of level 4 fairies that can be summoned, but generically, you can summon out a few annoying monsters as well, such as Gelin Duo, which can't be destroyed by battle. There are a few danger monsters available in this format, the best one being Danger Mothman, which is a level 4 dark that can, if it misses, special summon, draw a card. If it hits, draw a card and discard a card. So it's always going to filter your hand in some way. You could also play Danger Thunderbird, which is a very good level 8, big, a lot of attack points, and it can draw a card, it can pop back row, so quite useful. Ogopogo is another level 8 if you're doubling down on dangers, but this one's not quite as ubiquitous. Now, there are a lot of kaijus in this format that can be played, and I think they will see play. You can play Radian, Godarla, Thunder King, and Jisakuru, so really premier removal cards that are available. I did want to mention the Chaos Emperor Dragon. This card isn't great, but it is generic, and it can special summon level like 3000, level 8, banish a light and dark, and its effect is not as good. More relevant, I think, is Thunder Dragon Duo. Dragon Duo is kind of a similar summon condition, 2800 attack, but it can search thunders from your deck, including more copies of itself. And then if it stays around during your opponent's end phase, you can put back one of your banished cards. So Chaos decks seem relatively viable. The Magician of Chaos and the Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon both available with their fusion spell. or the ritual spell. Now, these cards on their own aren't really crazy. Like Magician of Chaos, it lets you pop cards when you use spells and traps, but Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects, and that seems really good in this format. If you can't destroy it or remove it by card, like, you're gonna have to have a specific tech to out this card, and in a limited format like this, these cards are incredibly powerful boss monsters, so I think if there's a ritual deck that summons this, it could be quite potent. Lightning Vortex being a rare, destroying all face-up monsters your opponent controls, it becomes much better. Like, this card can definitely see a lot of play. I played this in my Going Second Mech Knight deck I'm using in this format, which has been pretty good against my chat. The Smashing Ground is probably not that good, just destroys one of your opponent's monsters, but I wanted to mention it. Performing Pal Popper Up, this is kind of like your pot card in this format. It's one of the only draw cards generically available. It can't really be used in every deck, and it is a neg-1 where you discard it, plus other cards to draw one less than what you originally had, and you take damage. So it's a little less than optimal, but if you're playing a graveyard deck, it could be considerable. Moon Mirror Shield, this could be a problem. If Konami doesn't ban this for the format, this card can win any battle, and it can really slow down a game. I've seen this kind of swing games back if you're like losing and then you just get a monster equipped with this. You only have so many Mystical Space Typhoons to deal with it, and if you're out, you're out. And yeah, so Moon Mirror Shield is definitely something to be aware of. Now Chaos Form, of course, to summon the Chaos boss monsters. Mystical Space Typhoon, definitely a staple. I mean, even with the Generator boss stage probably going to be banned, Pacifist may be getting banned. I think this is very important. One of the decks that in testing has been really strong is Marincess, and their field spell, you just have to have an out for it, because they make a like 4800 monster that's unaffected by card effects, and you have to out the field spell to out the boss monster. So Mystical Space Typhoon, very good against some of the awesome back row in this deck, in this format. Book of Moon is okay. I mean, it's more generic tech. It's really good in some decks, but I haven't really found room for it. Enemy Controller is another really good generic spell card that can be used to interrupt your opponent's turn. Forbidden Chalice is probably the most played interruption. Since you can search it off of Witch, this card just negates cards. It's really good quick play. Going first or second can be quite useful, especially for one specific boss monster that I'll mention in the XYZ portion. Ring of Destruction, yeah, it just blows up a dude. So, I mean, this could definitely see play. Bottomless Trap Hole, I also didn't include on this list, but I think it is very playable. Floodgate Trap Hole, likewise, those cards can definitely see play. Torrential Tribute, one of the premier trap cards, honestly. Blowing up 2-for-1ing your opponent with this can win games. Raigeki Break could be used in like a Burning Abyss strategy, any strategy that likes discarding cards. But other than that, you're probably not going to want to play this. It can destroy back row, however, so quite considerable. Compulse is very good, bouncing cards to the hand. Non-destruction removal does target, but pretty good, pretty good. And then Phoenix Wing Wind Blast, a little bit of a stronger effect than Compulse, putting a card on the top of the deck. Targets any card, discards one to put it on top of the deck. So this could be played in discard decks as well, pretty good. The Assault Mode. Memory of an Adversary, this was recommended to me. Somebody told me it was really good, but it doesn't target and it doesn't destroy, and then you get the monster. So this actually outs problematic, untargetable, indestructible boss monsters, and it swings the pace of the game pretty considerably. So it was worth mentioning for you guys. If you wanted more Mystical Space Typhoons, Oleanoids, if you wanted more Book of Moons, Canadia, and Dynamiscus stands alone, just banishing a card, discarding one, extremely powerful. If this card isn't limited in some way on their ban list, this card will be seeing play in a lot of decks. It's one of the best staples on this list. Now, Lost Wind can deal with big special summoned monsters. The attack loss on this is permanent, and so is the effect negation, plus it comes back from the graveyard. So very, very good. Jelly Cannon is just kind of a silly inclusion. Target a monster in the field, shuffle it into the deck. I mean, that's pretty good, but obviously this is a battle trap, so it's a little underpowered. Now, Dogmatica Punishment is really interesting because a lot of the best targets to send from the extra deck to the graveyard for this are not in this format, but there are a few targets that you can play to get value out of it. Now, this does target a face-up monster your opponent controls, and then you send a monster from your extra deck with an equal or greater attack, and then destroy that monster. So you have to have specific targets. One target is the Fossil Machine Skullwagon. Now, this card, when sent to graveyard, you can banish it during your turn whenever you need to, and destroy a spell or trap on the field. So you're 2 for 1-ing. It's really good because you send it with this to destroy a monster with 1700 or less attack, and then you can pop a back row as well, giving you another Mystical Space Typhoon. And then, of course, if you really wanted a big monster, you could play like Dragon Master Knight or like Blue Eyes, whatever. Just the big dudes, right, to deal with boss monsters with punishment. Divine Wrath is one of the only counter traps available in this format. Discard a card, negate a monster effect, and destroy. So that can be quite good. You also potentially have Fists of the Unrivaled Tenyi. This card could see limitation, we don't know. But with the Paleozoics, with all the normal monsters in the format, this could be an Omni Negate, but it does not destroy. So Divine Wrath is a little better with the cost of the discard. Fogblade is really good. This is kind of like a forbidden... it's kind of like a negation card. It's pretty good, like Fiendish Chain, except that it says that you can target your own monsters and they can't be attacked as well. So I feel it's slightly better than Fiendish Chain, but Fiendish Chain is also considerable on this list. Fogblade pretty good. Batalfin, goes with these cards who all been discussed. Ronin Raccoon is not really something you can use in many decks in this format, but there is a Melfi deck that can use it. It's really, really good, powerful interruption. Black Ship of Corn is a card that's going to be played in a lot of rank 4 decks. Most decks are going to have rank 4s in them in this format, I feel. And Black Ship is really good removal. Gaga Gaga Samurai lets you go for game. Probably the best rank 4, though, is Malevolent Sin. The Dual Link Special. This card targets a card your opponent controls and banishes it. So it deals with monsters that are bigger than it, and then it continually gets larger as far as attack points. So a very powerful tool that should be in your rank 4 toolbox. Now, the best XYZ monster is definitely Draglubion. Draglubion 3000, any 2 level 8s, and this thing summons a crazy boss monster being Heart Earth Dragon. This card cannot be destroyed by battle. If your opponent doesn't deal with it, it banishes all of the cards that they currently control that were normal, special, or set this turn. The last effect is not super relevant because it wasn't correctly summoned off of the Heart Earth. It can't resummon itself, but the first effect is very good. This is why we play Forbidden Chalice. This is why we play Vortex. And this is why we play cards like Book of Moon. They deal with it, and if this card doesn't see limitation in the format, it's definitely something you need to be aware of or making, because it's a really powerful boss monster, the King of Calamities of the format. Pain Gainer and 7 Sins can also be played. You can overlay these on a Draglubion, and this card can get very big, Pain Gainer. It's level 11, but you can overlay it directly on top of a rank 8 Dark, which you have, just any rank 8 actually, and gains defense equal to the combined ranks, so it can see itself. And then while it has Xyz material, each time your opponent activates a spell or trap, they take 600. You can detach 1, destroy all face-up monsters they control with defense less than or equal to this card. And so yes, it definitely can be a board wipe. You can overlay that into the 7 Sins, which has 4000 attack. Now, attack points are actually relevant in this format, and yeah, this thing can come out of nowhere, so I do like including it in decks that do play Draglubion. So the best Link monsters in the format, Cross Sheep is the best, I think. It just has really good effects when you use fusion monsters. Ritual is really good as well. Synchro and XYZ, okay at best, but it's very generic to summon, and it can be useful in a wide variety of situations. Geonator Transverser should probably be included in your extra deck. Changing control of monsters is pretty cheesy, but not being destroyed by card effects can also come up, so I really like including it. It just takes any 2 effect monsters. The best Link 3s, Triple Burst Dragon has a relevant damage step negation effect and also can tribute itself to summon back monsters. Not as relevant, it has a lot of attack points. Power Code Talker, also pretty useful, being able to negate cards on the field. And the third one I want to mention, if it is allowed, since Tenyi cards were considered to be limited, is Berserker of the Tenyi, which is the only 3000 attack Link 3, and you can easily make it. I'll be putting out several videos in regards to this event once we get the official ban list, talking about the best decks, but some of the decks that I've been testing so far is a pure going second Mech Knight Kaiju list, which has been really good. DDDs, which is pretty funny. I'm still working on this one, but one of my viewers actually had a good handle on it. They were killing people with it in our duel room. Cosmos, which is very interesting. Cosmos are pretty good. I'm currently playing Dark Planet Turbo. It's pretty fun, and I do have a Ritual spam taking advantage of the Chaos Dragon, and finally my Fluffle list that has been hilarious. The only problem with this deck is you only have 1 Edge Imp that you can use, since you only have 1 fusion monster in the Frightfur Sheep, but it is very cool having access to a hand trap and a draw 2 in Fluffle Wings. So it has like a very nice draw engine, it has a very nice negation, it can use Condemned Witch since these are all level 4 fairies. So it has a lot going for it, but yeah, I'm gonna have official lists in my next video. I just wanted to tease what I've been working on for this format. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this kind of content, appreciate a subscription to the channel. I will definitely be putting out more videos on the normal and rare festival, so stay tuned and let me know in the comments what you think of this list and the decks that you're thinking of using for this event. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you in the next video. Take care. Thank you so much.